Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, wearing his usual serious expression. He had seen thousands of performers over the years, many claiming to be inspired by legends, many trying to imitate icons like Michael Jackson. Most failed to capture the magic. Some were entertaining, but very few truly honored the king of pop. Simon had heard it all before, and you could tell he was skeptical. The host smiled and asked the boy his name. In a soft but confident voice, the boy introduced himself and said he was from the Philippines. The crowd reacted warmly, cheering loudly. When asked about his dream, the boy paused for a moment and then said he wanted to make his family proud and show the world his love for Michael Jackson. His voice trembled slightly when he said Michael's name, not from fear, but from respect. Simon raised an eyebrow and leaned forward. He asked the boy why Michael Jackson. The boy smiled shyly and explained that he grew up watching Michael Jackson videos on a small screen at home, practicing the moves in front of a mirror, sometimes on a dusty floor, sometimes late at night when everyone was asleep. He said Michael's music made him feel alive, like he could escape any problem just by dancing. The audience listened closely. There was something honest in his words. This wasn't just a kid copying moves for attention. This was a child who had studied every detail, every step, every emotion. The judges exchanged glances. You could feel the tension building. Then Simon asked the question everyone was thinking. What are you going to do for us today? The boy took a deep breath and said he would perform a Michael Jackson tribute. A few murmurs spread through the audience. Some people smiled, others looked unsure. Simon nodded slowly, his face unreadable. He wished the boy good luck and leaned back again. The music stopped. The stage went dark. For a few seconds, there was complete silence. Then the first beat dropped. The moment the rhythm hit the speakers, the boy transformed. It was like someone flipped a switch. His posture changed, his eyes sharpened, and his body moved with a precision that stunned everyone watching. He didn't just dance like Michael Jackson. He felt like Michael Jackson. His feet glided across the stage in a flawless moonwalk that made the audience gasp. His spins were sharp, his timing perfect. Every move was clean, controlled, and powerful. He hit iconic poses with confidence, snapping his head at just the right moment, freezing in positions that looked like they were pulled straight from a classic MJ performance. The crowd erupted. People jumped out of their seats. You could hear screams echoing through the theater. Phones were raised everywhere, capturing the moment. The energy was electric. Simon Cowell sat up straight. His arms slowly uncrossed. His eyes were locked on the stage. For the first time, his expression changed from skepticism to surprise. The boy continued, moving effortlessly from one legendary move to another. He added his own flair too, not just copying but interpreting the style, showing respect while making it his own. His facial expressions told a story. Confidence, passion, joy, and intensity all blended together in a way that felt far beyond his age. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. The beat dropped lower, slower, and the boy prepared himself. The crowd already knew what was coming, but they still weren't ready. With perfect balance and control, he lifted his heels and leaned forward impossibly far, recreating one of Michael Jackson's most dangerous and iconic moves. The entire theater exploded. People screamed. Judges stood up. Hands flew to mouths in disbelief. The move was so clean, so accurate, that it didn't look real. It looked like a hologram. Of Michael Jackson had appeared on the AGT stage, but it was a 12-year-old boy doing it live, right in front of them. Simon Cowell's jaw dropped. He shook his head slowly, almost laughing in shock. You could tell he couldn't believe what he was seeing. The music built up again, and the boy finished strong, hitting his final pose with absolute confidence. He stood still, chest rising and falling, sweat glistening under the stage lights. For a split second, there was silence. Then the entire audience jumped to their feet. The applause was thunderous. People were screaming his name. Some were crying. The judges were clapping, standing, cheering like fans at a concert. It wasn't just appreciation. It was awe. The boy looked around, eyes wide, clearly overwhelmed. He bowed slightly, still trying to catch his breath. The judges began to speak. One judge told him that what he just did was not an imitation, but a tribute, and that Michael Jackson would be proud. Another judge praised his discipline, his hard work, and his ability to command such a big stage at such a young age. Then Simon Cowell leaned toward his microphone. The room went quiet again. Simon paused, choosing his words carefully. He told the boy that he had seen many Michael Jackson impersonators over the years, but very few truly understood the essence of Michael. He said that this performance wasn't just about moves, it was about feeling, timing, and soul. And somehow, this young boy had all of it. The boy listened, eyes locked on Simon, barely blinking. Simon smiled slightly and said that moments like this are the reason this show exists. To discover raw, undeniable talent where you least expect it. Then Simon stood up. The audience began to scream, sensing what might happen. Simon looked at the boy one more time and said that he believed the world needed to see more of him, that this talent deserved a bigger stage, a faster path, and a chance to inspire millions. And then it happened. Simon Cowell reached out and slammed the golden buzzer. Golden confetti exploded from above, raining down on the stage like a dream. The sound was overwhelming. The lights turned gold. The audience screamed louder than ever before. The boy froze. For a moment, he didn't move. His eyes filled with tears as he realized what had just happened. He covered his mouth with his hands, shaking his head in disbelief. He dropped to his knees, crying openly as the golden confetti covered him. Simon walked onto the stage and hugged him. The judges followed, surrounding the boy in a moment that felt unreal. The crowd chanted his name. The camera cut to the boy's family in the audience, crying, hugging each other, overwhelmed with pride and emotion. The boy stood up, still crying, trying to speak but unable to find the words. Finally, through tears, he thanked Simon, the judges, his family, and Michael Jackson for inspiring him. It was one of those rare television moments that people remember forever. Not because it was flashy, but because it was real. A young boy from the Philippines, carrying a dream bigger than himself, stepped onto a global stage and reminded everyone that passion, dedication, and love for art can break any barrier. As the confetti continued to fall, Simon looked genuinely happy. Not impressed in a professional way, but moved as a human being. And that's when you know something special has happened. This performance wasn't just about dancing.